Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Natural 20, and this is Fire Emblem Three Houses Crimson Flower Maddening Mode. I am joined today in what is a very, very exciting moment for me, because I am joined in the commentary booth by the one, the only Bifonen, who has been our artist on basically every LP we've done for the past 3 or 4 years, and it is incredibly exciting to have her finally on the show. So welcome.
Yes. Pretty cool to finally be talking on the LP for once.
Well, I'm very glad that you are, and I'm very glad that I got you into Fire Emblem to begin with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a Fire Emblem noob, only started on Awakening. I'm also a filthy casual.
I mean, that's true of me as well, despite the fact that I'm playing on Maddening Classic. There are a lot of people who would say that I don't really know the meaning of difficult Fire Emblem. For what it's worth, I did play Conquest from Fire Emblem Fates on Lunatic mode, but that did kill me. And that almost killed the entire series for me.
Yeah, I've never gone back to Fates, just played, I forget how many chapters, and just got sick of it.
Yeah, I
loved Awakening, loved Two Houses.
Well, it's very, very good to have you on, and we've got you on for the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion, which I'm very excited about as well. So with that, let us get to the recording, and we'll see you guys in a second. So yeah, I decided to fade in with Dorothea and Petra having a chat.
It is the thinking that counts. But your cooking is...
Yeah, Dorothea has a lot of good events.
I mainly did it for Petra just directly insulting Dorothea.
Nobody's cooking can be that.
Your cooking is terrible. I think she's possibly the only character that's just straight-faced and straight, like, innocent enough to say that without being insulting.
What is the word? Horrendous.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have no problems. My body is already able to...
But yeah, Dorothea has a lot of good support, so I tend to put a fair number of them in this LP anyway.
I'm not having sleeping trouble.
I do like that she's trying to just be very, very nice to Petra.
I like helping my friends.
Because I can imagine... I don't know if she empathizes with, like, Petra, you know, being a captive, but I think she does empathize with her being, like, a foreign exchange student, effectively. I don't...
Petra's whole background there is kind of messed up.
Yeah, I mean, she's a prisoner of war, technically, but also ends up being a student because of that. I think Dorothea kind of might read into, like, being a commoner in the same way, as in, like, she's an outsider as well.
This monastery is more dangerous than I expected. It's likely that our foes have infiltrated the ranks of the teachers. And there may be others of questionable character about as well. If you ask me, there is something amiss about that old man.
Oh yeah, that creepy old man.
Spoilers, Sothis, Christ!
Yes!
So yeah, this is the week of the fishing tournament.
This is the
Oh right, yeah.
I am so
and Flame, she does love her fish. So
Who doesn't love sushi?
Yeah, I mean, like, totally. Interestingly enough, you give her I don't know what, like, I call it tutatis, but I've got no idea how it's actually pronounced.
Oh, me neither.
But you give her a herring from that, and that's also the map where her uncle, the Immovable, is as well. So that's cool. What I realized here is I forgot to talk to everyone during the tournament itself, so I didn't get any of the rewards from the other characters.
I see.
There wasn't anything too important, right?
There's like a steel sword, and I did reset, so I would get the steel sword. So this is something you won't have seen before. This is the DLC.
Oh, I saw that in the other Let's Play.
Yeah. So the DLC is its own campaign, but occasionally it bleeds in to the main campaign here. And so this monk is, spoilers, the main villain of the DLC.
Yeah, I actually just finished reading that and got up to wherever I left off starting the Golden Deer, and then I thought, oh, okay, now I'll stop and wait till I finally go do Golden Deer, because I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you've got to go to the greenhouse and pick up these flowers for her. Well, for the priest, sorry, so that you can put it on your mum's grave, which is a bit morbid in some ways, but... And, you know, it is a bit creepy knowing the backstory of the guy basically being in love with your mother, but...
I'm just absolutely exhausted. I had imagined the academy as a chance to possibly relax before our lives began in earnest. Agreed.
Yeah, there was a really funny post in the thread, like, just trying to sum up the whole plot in one paragraph about, like, creating some golem powered by the heart of God, and
it's just, it's a
shoving
bit
it in,
Thank you so much.
shoving it in the baby,
Yeah.
then hiding the corpse somewhere for 20 years, and then this guy decides to do all that shit from his plotline.
Try and bring back the corpse, because, you know, that would be fun.
Yeah. And then she'll totally be in love with him, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Professor, do you have a second? It's about Monica. Does she seem off to you? She was in prison for a long while, but she seems to have recovered almost instantly, and she's been bizarrely cheerful.
So I really like this.
I wonder if she's
Oh, yeah.
happy.
A little bit of foreshadowing there. Oh, she's just moving on. Hey, right? She's fine.
so close to Edelgard.
I'd be happy too.
Yeah. Well, so... what I think it does is actually
Shall we meet up
show that Hilda's quite
hello,
emotionally intelligent.
Do you need something?
And which makes sense for a character, right? Where she manipulates people to not have to do work. And that would make sense that she's also good at
Since I couldn't graduate
sussing
last
out
year,
people's
I wanna make
motivations.
sure I can do so this year. Don't worry.
I also loved Hubert just getting all pissy about her stealing all of Edelgard's time.
Yeah.
I look forward to learning from you, Professor.
Nothing suspicious about this Monica girl at all. I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen with her. Oh yes, I was trying to feed that cat, but the game didn't let me, so there you go. But what I'm actually going to be doing is recruiting another cat. Aka Felix.
People say you're quite skilled.
Yeah, Felix is probably my favorite from Blue Lions.
Yeah, I really like him from them as well. So, Felix requires you to raise your sword skill up to B rank normally.
That's best.
But if you get him to a B
Shouldn't be a
support,
problem.
if you get him to a B support, you can reduce it down to C, which is what I did here. And I did that by throwing massive numbers of flowers at him.
Since we were little, Ingrid's always gotten
So the way that I handle the game in general is by trying to come to the monastery as much as possible, because it gives you more shots at the greenhouse, and that gives you more flowers, which makes recruiting easier, and it also gives you more stat boosters, which also makes making people stronger easier. At some point I will do a proper video on how you properly manage a monastery across a month.
Well, yeah, that might be good.
Yeah, so I need a very, very typical month, so it's probably either going to be this one or the next one. They're the earliest months that aren't skewed in some way by the plot.
I've been trying to play through Crimson Flower myself now to keep ahead of this, and I just kept on going to the monastery constantly just to eat so much food every single weekend.
Absolutely. So here is the cooking together menu. I don't think I've shown this yet. So as I'm leveling up my professor, I've got more and more time on my hands. Now, you can spend that training skills on Violet, which is absolutely fine. But it is actually pretty beneficial here to basically make food, because it buffs all your characters for the month. So I think you can only have one food effect up at a time. And typically I'll use the fish ones, because eventually I'll have tons and tons of fish.
Please leave
And the Swiftfish gratin is
I think it is.
very, very good because it gives a point of speed, and speed is amazing, and it's from Bullhead, which is a very, very common fish.
Problem, but
So there is, I think, one that gives +1 to every stat, but it requires very, very rare foods. And ironically
Oh,
enough...
I think I remember that one.
Ironically enough, by the time that you can get it properly, you don't really need it anymore. So this is me recruiting Annette as well from the Blue Lions. Now, last episode, I recruited Leonie. And I did this via something called C+ support. Now, some characters explicitly have a C+ support with Byleth, right? But a lot of characters don't. The thing is, the game reduces recruitment requirements based on whether you have C+ support or not. So here, I don't have, I believe it's the faith to recruit Annette unless I got a B support with her. But
Here come the flowers.
yeah, well, but what you can do is if you raise somebody's affection while they're in C support, to a certain point, the game then acknowledges that you have C+ support, even though you don't explicitly get a C+ support scene.
Ah.
And so this enables you to recruit characters like Leonie, whose B support is locked until like chapter 9.
Ah.
And allows you to recruit Annette here with, you'll look at this. If I scroll to the right place, he says, scrolling terribly. Yeah, so Annette still is on C support, but I'm going to try and recruit her anyway, I think. Oh no, perhaps not.
How many people can you recruit anyway?
So you can recruit... Crimson Flower is limited, because there are characters you can't recruit. So you can't recruit Hilda on Crimson Flower, but you can recruit her on other routes. Other than that, you can recruit absolutely everyone in the game, apart from Claude, apart from the house leader, and their second. So it would be Didier and Dimitri can't be recruited, Edelgard and Hubert can't be recruited, and Claude can't be recruited, but Hilda usually can.
Really? Oh, thank you. I'm so happy right now. I just know I'll be able to learn all sorts of things with your guidance.
But yes, this is me recruiting Annette. Oh, and on Crimson Flower, you can't recruit Catherine. And you can't,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can't recruit Cyril on Crimson Flower or Alois, I believe. Because they're all Knights of Ceros, and they won't side against Ceros. So here, we have a trap I showed on the last episode, but I want to show it again. This is a class trap, basically. And what that means is that what I have is an Armor Knight here that can't kill anybody. Well, that won't be able to kill any of my frontline units. Once I've organized things properly. But my units won't be able to damage him. Or significantly hurt him. This isn't true for some, like Edelgard will just be able to hurt him no matter what. But I equip everyone with broken bows and rusted bows and all that kind of stuff.
So basically, it's like having old school tactics ogre with everyone throwing rocks at each other.
It's exactly that. So I do that, and then what happens is I'm able to just ping this guy with broken bows over and over again, and that doesn't get anybody a level up in terms of experience, but it does let us level up their classes and max those out, so you get a full class experience. Which, is very, very handy when you've got archers that give hit plus 20, for example. And here, I'm starting to begin the Leonie tactic, where I'm going to give her all the skill, all the dexterity and luck stat boosters I can.
And just crit everything.
That's the plan, yes. Leonie at the moment is very good. We'll see in the battle in a second, so we'll be getting to that in a moment, and I'll explain
I
a
haven't
little
got
bit
to
more.
appreciate her yet.
I consider more stat boosters, but I'm still a bit reluctant to at the moment. Okay, so this is the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion.
Here we go.
So this will obviously vary slightly from team to team, because obviously your enemy is going to be different based on the house that you're in.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion is set to...
I kept the cutscene in, though, because it's pretty good.
You all should know, I am not about to go easy on you today.
As long as we can pull off the win, doesn't matter how.
Our victory must be absolute, no matter what it may take.
Still think it's unfair that you have Byleth on one side, and you don't have Manuel and Hanneman on the other.
Yeah, when you try to point that out, then you just lose affection points.
Yeah.
For honor!
But I guess I don't want the noob to miss out.
Yeah, I suppose. But he's a noob with the sword of the damn creator, like... Which, you know, in canon is enough to stop entire armies alone, like...
The house that secures it will have a clear advantage.
So this is a lie. Don't go for the ballista. That's a terrible idea.
Stay focused.
Because then you have to fight two houses at the same time.
Let's get to it.
I just love rushing right in. This is what I like about this battle, is because it's so easy to hang back and just pick off little bits and pieces here and there. But this battle, you know, it probably still isn't even necessary. But I just like to go along with the whole idea of making sure you get as many kills as possible and just charging in, even if it's not at all technically advisable.
Yeah, so, not obviously, but there is a reward in this map for killing the most units. So you need to kill above 12, I believe, to get that. Now, on Maddening, that's just not a thing, really. You're going to kill 12 units, right? Because of just necessarily how the map works.
I will prevail.
But here at the moment, if you go in on that ballista, you're going to be in trouble, basically. And I'm actually going to show that, I think, during this recording.
And then they set it on fire or something.
No, so they don't do that on this version. So they do that on the Battle of Granda Field, which is this map again, except after the time skip.
Oh, right. I was thinking of the later one.
Yeah.
Leave it to me.
So what I'm doing right now is there are a set of Pegasus Knights on the left-hand side of this map. And they are the most dangerous units on this map by far. They're incredibly fast. They have very, very good range. So you kind of need to fight them. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
Nice try.
And the full right-hand flank is just going to be taken by Leone alone, with Hubert healing her. Because Leone is just bonkers. Like, it's hard to emphasize how much stronger she is than every other unit in my army at the moment. Oh, yes. Here we have Yuri just dying to a crit. this Pegasus like just rolls in, crits him on a 6% and kills him.
Oh my god.
So I restructure my defense here to deal with that.
Yeah, so I still haven't played Golden Deer yet. Does Lawrence ever get any decent character development, or is he always this smug-looking little shit?
So a lot of people profess to very much liking Lorenz after he's got his character development. And they'll talk about how, like, his idea of the obligations nobles have to commoners is quite reasonable in this setting. I'd argue he's still just a bit of a shit.
Sure thing.
He's kind of like B-list Ferdinand.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Ferdinand's just a better version of him. So I take down that one Pegasus Knight, and then here
Circle back behind the Black Eagles.
I'm going to enjoy Ingrid charging in with the other Pegasus Knight here. So I didn't... Actually, it turns out I didn't show this, but I had to restart this map. Because the first time, I went for the Ballista, and what happened is Ash just crit Dorothea to death.
Ow.
With like an 8% chance. And so at that point, I went...
Well, that's,
The problem is, Dorothea had been tactically hugely important for that campaign. So not that campaign, but for the set of moves I'd done there. So reversing time would have just meant I had to reverse time to the beginning of the map. And I was like, well, I guess I have to restart then. Because of a 6% crit. But yes, so Leonie is very good because she is blazing fast at the moment. And she has the highest pure defense on my entire army, somehow. I think she's got a defense of 15 and like +2 from like a class bonus as well.
Another one down.
Go ahead and clean everybody up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I get a do-over?
That's fine. She got a point in strength, so I don't care. She'll get everything else later, but as long as she's getting strength, a little bit of strength now, we're in a good spot. So here you see the reason I don't assault the Ballista in the middle. Because the Golden Deer just do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
They just charge all their knights onto that middle area. And you don't have to do anything. So Ingrid is a nightmare, because she is very, very fast, and she has a 2-range weapon. So you kind of just need to deal with her by firing curve shot at her over and over again. That's the only real way to fight her.
Well done.
But yeah, now that I've taken down these guys on this side, I'm going to reposition everyone.
Okay.
And then charge back up the middle of the map. And this is where Stride, the battalion art, is very, very valuable, because it's going to let me pivot basically all my entire army to a position that's much better.
Oh yeah, I've always got that on somebody, but don't use it as much as I should.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, and often there isn't a great space to use it in, but here it worked out. Now, Hilda is another nightmare, because she's not fast, but she hits like a truck. Like, she hit Felix there for 30 damage.
No.
But fortunately, we've got like our version of Hilda, aka Edelgard, who can do similar things. And so yeah, I'm a bit miffed because she can only hit for 21 damage.
So close.
Fortunately, Byleth is here, and he has an iron bow. Which means Edelgard can just walk up and bash Hilda's face in.
There we go.
Your defeat was inevitable. I must get stronger.
Edelgard just gains strength. That's her gimmick right now. She doesn't do anything else. She just gets strength so she can hit things. So I clear up the knights here, and then we have to deal with the fun that is Claude. Claude is by far the strongest unit on the map.
This is a great chance for me to find out if this combat.
He comes with a longbow.
Ouch, there we go.
So he has 3 range. He has close counter, so he can hit at minimum range as well. And he's unbelievably fast, and he hit Byleth there for 34 damage, which means his attack is something like 45. Like,
Yeah, usually Byleth can just tank everything.
I mean, like, on Maddening, Byleth can not usually tank everything, but he can take a hit, you know? And here, like, Claude just eviscerates it.
Yeah, I think last time I played this map, I accidentally left sort of the creator on, and Byleth like just like took out half the golden deers all on enemy phase on his own.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. The Sword of the Creator is very, very good, so, annoyingly here, I have to, try and use my casters to kill Raphael, who's decided to hide in some woods.
Whatever works.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm glad you're actually using Hubert too, because I just love Hubert so much.
Hubert is great, and he has been a monster on this campaign for me. He has done very, very well. Like, his magic is the same as Lysithia's at the moment, so he just hits very, very hard. And this is me now trying to figure out the puzzle of Claude. So I need to reduce his health down to 22, and then Edelgard can one-shot him. The question is, how do we do this?
Ooh, that's close.
Yes, so because Leone is so fast, she can engage Claude without dying. And Tempest Lance is a very, very powerful combat art. So I'm like, well, if I do that, and then...
I need someone else to not die.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, Yuri here is also very, very fast. And so this lets him survive against Claude as well. But you're seeing here kind of what I think is kind of important to see, which is speed is more important for tanking and maddening than defense is. Much, much more important.
Oh, that's a low blow.
How dare you make a fool of me? You will not rile me with such childish tactics.
Ah, so the sheer terror in your eyes was something else entirely.
When I got that support where she talks about how she hates rats, I was like, I saw some of the other options were like, oh, but you looked so cute when you made that little screech. I was like, oh, don't say that. That'd be terrible.
Oh, God.
It's like there's all this serious past trauma, like, oh, you sound so cute when you screeched.
Sorry, but it's about time.
Just how tone deaf would that be?
Do you know what her parents did to her? Well, not her parents. So you know what the Prime Minister did to her? So, here's something interesting that's happened. Lorenz, in the meantime, while I've been fighting Claude, has run off and killed himself on Dimitri. And this causes something very, very interesting, which is it makes Dimitri move.
Oh, so he's off his little tile there.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll stay where he is until you shoot at him, until you hit him for the first time.
Thanks, Lawrence.
But if you just leave the deer to fight the lions, then Lorenz aggroes him. So one thing that I haven't shown, because I've been skipping over a lot of enemy phases, by the way, is every time units die on this map, armies get points for it. And on Maddening, if an army gets 3 points for 3 kills, they get a morale boost, which gives them +2/+2 to all their +2 to all their stats. If they get 5 kills, gives them +4 to all their stats, and if they get 8 kills, it gives +8 to all their stats. Sorry, +6 to all their stats. Sorry, not +8.
Still pretty bad.
Which is very, very bad because it means like Dimitri becomes even more of a monster. But yeah, you can see here that I've managed to aggro Dimitri across the entire map to where the Golden Deer were fighting. So Dimitri is stronger than Claude is, and he's about as fast, but
he doesn't have the range, right?
He's only got 2 range, which means you can ping him with bows a lot more easily. Which is my plan here. Also, you can ping him with Hubert, because Hubert has Maya and Death, which are both 3 range.
Yeah, that makes him so handy in the early game.
Yeah, he's excellent early as Hubert. I think I underrated him when I reviewed him, actually. He is a lot better than I thought he was. And so, yeah, Dimitri, monstrous stats, don't get me wrong, but he's just... When you have 2-3 range mages in Hubert and Dorothea, he's just not as much of a threat as he could be. Oh, meanwhile, Byleth has run off over here to grab this chest.
Oh, yeah.
And get a kill allowance. Not that we'll ever use it, but I wanted the chest, and there was no reason not to get it.
Yeah, you can't just not get a chest.
There will be a point where I have to opt not to get one, which is very sad, but I'll explain that later.
Time to cross blades. I never imagined such a day would come to pass.
If the Empire and the Kingdom...
Who could have ever imagined that?
...to fight as much as we please.
Edelgard knows what's up. She knows what's going to happen.
The thought of fighting you is troubling at best.
In that case, I wonder when you'll be able to stomach facing me in battle. Do you need a few moments?
And there you go. So one thing of note is that both Dimitri and Claude have rings that you can steal from them in this fight. Now, steal is a thief skill that requires that when you attack the opponent, you have higher speed than they do. And for what it's worth, Claude has something like 30 speed in this.
Yeah, I've never really used it.
So it might as well not exist on Maddening. Because everything is so fast that has anything stealable. It's just not worth it. Ferdinand consistently refuses to get speed or strength when he levels up.
That's not good.
No.
The Black Eagles.
Thank you for your hard work, everyone. I dare say that prize is as good as ours.
Yeah, good job, us. And we did it by hanging at the back of the map and letting them kill each other.
Yeah, it's usually the opposite of what I would do. Of course, I don't play in Maddening, though.
Yeah,
I'd like to have this chance to rush in and just try to kill everything in the total opposite way of how I usually do the maps.
Yeah, so enemies' phase, like run-in tactics, are much better on lower difficulties. Because individual enemies aren't as much of a threat, so you can take down more of them in a single turn.
I know you both feel we won by a paper-thin margin, and I won't deny it. If we were to fight again, there's no telling who would prevail.
Oh, please, Edelgard, don't be modest.
You are nothing.
Yeah, so here, you can compliment either of the other house leaders for absolutely no benefit, or you can just be incredibly cocky.
Just trash talk them.
So I weigh this choice for a second. I'm like, well, what do I want to say, really?
Professor, well, I suppose it's okay to let victory go to your head just this once.
In any case, I hope.
But yes, you get Edelgard's approval if you decide to shit talk them.
Agreed. I would hate to know a future in which
Which is very important for me. And that is all of Chapter 7.
Alright.
Yeah, so broadly speaking, the strategy and the army is taking the shape that I want it to at this point. We've got a lot of the key pieces now. I couldn't use Shamir on this map, but she's a very powerful piece I've got as well to be able to use. And so you'll be seeing more of that in the next episode.
Oh yeah, I recruited her as well when I'm playing through. I basically recruited all the teachers, and it's fun having Henneman and Dorothea just dropping meteors on everybody.
Oh yeah, they're very good. So we are basically done with this at this point. And I think the next chapter is going to be quite interesting because it's the first chapter where we've got paralogs to deal with. And so I'll be talking through 2 maps at that point instead of just 1. So for that, you will have to wait. And beyond that, thank you very much for joining me, Bifanen.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
And I hope to have you back on the series. I hope the audience does as well. So with that in mind, thank you all very, very much for watching, and we will catch you all next time.